Hey everybody, let's talk about these sunflower pots that you have in now. I kind of want to give you a couple of weird history facts about sunflowers. Now, sunflowers were grown for food production, they're also grown for oil production. So, a lot of the fried foods that we get can be cooked in sunflower oil now. And the Latin name for sunflower is helianthus, and helios is Greek for sun, and anthos is Greek for flower. So there's your two interesting facts about sunflower. We use sunflowers in a lot of various ways, food and also oil production. So let's talk about trying to keep these sunflowers alive. Now, sunflowers do not need sun to germinate, but they need sun to bloom. So I think it's best if you start these inside your house as opposed to putting them outside, because right now we're getting all kinds of temperature fluctuations. So in the past couple of days, we've been in the nighttime temperatures of 40, and then we'll have daytime temperatures of 70. Ideally, they need it to be anywhere from 68 to 70 degrees to actually germinate. So let's talk about these three different parts that you have in this container. One, you have a clay pot. You have a mixture of a soilless media that's mostly probably made out of peat, and then you have your seed packet. The very first thing that you need to do, probably the night before, is fill up a bucket and put this, what would you call this, a pellet, inside of that bucket of water, because this is actually going to swell up like a sponge. So this is actually dehydrated peat, and peat is actually decayed plant and animal remains over hundreds of years that they typically dig out of bogs somewhere up north, especially in Canada. So we use this to grow a lot of our plants in now. The only problem with this, there's no nutrients in this. It's just growing. So whenever you get your plant started, ideally you need to fertilize them with some type of a dilute Miracle Grow or some type of a liquid fertilizer every 7 to 10 days. All right, so step number one, take this out. Fill up a bucket with water or a large bowl with water. Drop this in there and let it be overnight, because ideally this is going to be taking some time to actually swell up with water so you can actually use it. So this is hard as a rock right now. So once this is actually swollen up with water overnight, you can actually fill up the clay container with this. You'll probably have some of this left over. Once you actually get the soilless media into the container, you have your packet of seeds. Now, seeds, if they're buried too deeply, they won't actually grow because they don't have enough energy stored inside the seed to actually get up to make light, or to actually make food from light, which the process of that is called photosynthesis. So the plant will actually take carbon dioxide, water, and light and yield oxygen, and actually they'll actually spit out a little bit of water also through respiration. So you're going to take your sunflower seeds once you've actually filled up your container with soil, and ideally, a lot of people don't realize this, you shouldn't fill your container all the way to the top. You should only fill your container to this lip right inside here. That way, whenever you water, the water has some place to actually sit before it goes down. So if you fill this entire container full of water and you try to water it, the water's just going to roll off. So just fill up the soil to the lip inside the pot. Then you're going to place these about a half an inch below the surface. Ideally, start these inside your house, inside of a window, somewhere where there is sun, because that sun is actually going to warm up this container. You don't actually have to have sun to get them started, but you do have to have sun to let them bloom. So once they've actually started, and you have a little bit of green growth coming out of this container needs to go outside somewhere in sun. Now, you may ask, how many hours of sun does this container need? Full sun is defined as more than 6 hours of direct sunlight. If you put this container under your porch and this pot never sees sunlight, this pot will never bloom. Sunflower, it has to have sun. So just kind of keep that in mind. You may have to actually put it somewhere in the yard where you help watch it, keep it away from wildlife, watch for the dogs and the cats and everything kind of knocking it over. But ideally, this needs to go somewhere outside in full sun to bloom. If it's under the porch and it doesn't actually get direct sunlight, it won't bloom. If it's inside the house, it probably won't bloom. They need direct sunlight. So what are some issues that can occur when growing plants? The number one reason why plants die in containers, you'll probably never guess this, it's over water. So I'm going to give you a really simple tip to try to see when to actually water this sunflower pot. Take a wooden pencil, sharpen it, stick it into the pot in the container. If it comes out and the pencil, where you shaved it off, is wet, don't water. If it's dry, water. The plant will tell you for the most part when to water. It's going to wilt some. If you go out there and water every day, every day, every day, there can be some root rot issues. And because plants are like people, roots are like people, roots have got to breathe. For the most part, most plants, if they're sitting in water, those roots will actually rot and die. So I want to kind of give you those tips, and I want you to know that you can call me if you have questions. You can email me. My email address is lholman1@utk.edu. So you feel free to call me anytime you've got questions, and we'll go from there. Good luck with your sunflower, and I hope y'all have a great day. Bye.